Many people out there are looking for that unique picturesque place to get some perfect photos, but everyone always ends up in the same places. To get to any of these places we're about to mention, it's going to take some hard work, some dedication, and maybe even some ladders in some cases. From monasteries situated on cliffsides to fortresses in the middle of the ocean, here are the most remote buildings on Earth.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm your host, American Eye, bringing to you another epic video.
The Sphinx Observatory. Located about 11,716 feet above sea level, this is the highest observatory in the world and is perched in the Swiss Alps. It is accessible to the public only if you're able to make it this far from civilization. The top of the mountain can be reached with an elevator that's been tunneled through pure rock. It's home to two large laboratories, a weather observation station, a workshop, and an astronomical cupola that has a 76-centimeter telescope. It plays a key role in experiments conducted by not only universities in Switzerland, but also the country of Belgium. Much of the research here is related to astronomy and astrophysics. The Kotsky Pillar Monastery. Imagine living on top of a stone pillar in the middle of nowhere in the forest of the Caucasus Mountains. Reimagine there's no Wi-Fi for the monks who live at the top of the Kotsky Pillar in the European country of Georgia. It's about 40 meters or 150 feet high, is made of limestone, and has remained somewhat unclimbed to historians until 1944. It remains somewhat of a mystery of how the inhabitants of the monastery first made it up there. But in modern times, supplies are brought up there by people from a nearby village using simply a pulley system. Whoever's brave enough to live on top of that thing better be hoping that there's no earthquakes in the near future. The Church of St Johann. Be expecting quite the journey if you think you're going to make it to this picturesque Italian church located in Italy. The building is best reached by automobile, but you might be able to get close to it with a bus. The surrounding environment is quite dramatic, being situated on a grassy meadow next to the Dolomitic Mountains. It was meant to be fairly isolated and it'd take you a little bit of work to get here, but if you go through with the adventure, you probably won't regret it. The church was built in 1744 and was dedicated to St John of Nepomuk. The interior is also highly decorated with multiple frescoes and a marble wood altar. The isolated building can also host weddings if you're looking for that perfect location. Fort Boyard. Located in the western part of France off the coast of the city known as Rochefort, stands an extremely isolated fortress which was built in the 17th century and later upgraded by Napoleon. It was meant to protect the harbor and the nearby Ile d'Aix to the northwest. Enemy ships, however, could simply sail around it and avoid making contact, essentially making it useless. Walls of the tower measure up to 60 feet high and are capable of garrisoning 250 men. Although it's close to some cities, you really don't see this kind of thing too often in the middle of the ocean. Lede Island, Iceland. As far as zombie apocalypse houses go, whoever built this place knows exactly what they're doing. Built on an Icelandic archipelago south of the mainland, it seems like the best way to get here would be by helicopter. The coastal cliffs of this island make it tough to reach by boat. The small building you see on this island is actually a hunting lodge, and the only things that permanently live here are the puffins. It's a privately owned island, and we imagine that not too many people make it out here. You technically have to be a member of the Icelandic hunting organization to stay at the lodge. Some rumors out there swirled about it belonging to the Icelandic singer known as Björk, but those rumors were not true. Tashrabat. This isolated and remote fortress was built to take care of people who were trading along the Silk Road during the 15th century. It's located in the country of Kyrgyzstan, which is already pretty isolated on its own. The structure is made up of 31 different rooms and a recognizable dome. The entire building is made up of crushed stone on clay mortar, and it's quite impressive that it's still standing to this day. Back during the time when the Silk Road was profitable, coming to the Tashrabat was like catching sight of a gas station after a long drive. It symbolized that the dangerous journey from the east was almost over and more smooth sailing was ahead. Today it acts as a lodge for hikers and for horse trekkers who want to explore the historic area. Meteora Monastery. Considered to be one of the most carefully built Eastern Orthodox complexes in the world, this next place is located in central Greece. It's built on a natural pillar-like rock formation too. It also certainly seems like a great place to hide out at and was likely first built sometime during the 14th century during the end of the Byzantine Empire. It was constructed during a time when invaders to the east were seeking control of the area and the monks wanted the monastery to be as inaccessible as possible. The geology of the peaks are also quite unique, being made of both conglomerate and limestone. Archaeologists would suggest that humans have inhabited the nearby caves since 23,000 years ago. In any case, access to the monastery would require people to use ropes and ladders, and if the Lord didn't like you, he might let the ropes break. So sinners should not consider themselves to be invited here. Parotaksang Monastery, Bhutan. Although people are allowed to visit parts of this monastery in the small country Bhutan, you'd have to walk up about 10,000 stairs to get here, or maybe pay a hefty fee for a horse. No one's actually allowed inside the buildings where the hardcore Buddhist monks are floating around. Legend has it that a reincarnation of Buddha flew on the back of a magical tiger to this cliffside and began meditating in a cave nearby. It was built in 1692, but restored slightly in 1992. Also known as the Tiger's Nest, it's perched on a steep cliffside in the Himalaya mountains. There are rumors of Buddhist monks being able to achieve superpowers from reaching a spiritual state of nirvana. Some claim that they're able to bear through extremely cold temperatures for long periods of times and even levitating. Harvard researchers were stunned when they found Buddhist monks only wearing thin cloth robes in sub-freezing temperatures. What exactly the monks are doing here still remains a mystery. Lukomir, Bosnia. Lukomir is a remote, isolated village in the country of Bosnia, which is known for being at a high altitude. It sits at an altitude of about 5,000 feet, which is pretty high for a place in the Balkans. Considered to be a national landmark, getting here, especially during winter, is certainly a challenge. Not only that, but some people consider it to be Bosnia's oldest inhabited village. It's only a few hundred years old though, dating back to the 15th century, and many still debate this. Notable for the stone and wooden tile homes, it has a unique appearance which makes it appear more authentic than a lot of post-WW2 designs. During winter months, the only way to really get here is by skiing or by walking, since the roads are closed due to the snow. Some tourist sites believe that it's the most authentic Bosnian experience you'll ever get. But be careful, rumor has it that a dragon lives nearby. Koksladinen. Feel like getting away for a little bit in one of the coldest places on Earth? Might as well do it in style at the Koksladinen Arctic Resort and get there the cool way, by dog sled. Seems like the perfect place to chill, right? These igloo-like pods allow for a unique experience year-round and allow you to stay somewhat warm while you're checking out the northern lights. This is located just south of Finland's northernmost fishing village, but right in the middle of the forest. From an aerial vantage point, it almost appears as though some UFOs have landed and are making a hideout in the isolated forests of Finland. You can also witness some of Lapland's craziest snow-covered trees from the comfort of your bed. Refuge de Goûter. This crazy hotel, hidden in the French Alps, almost seems like the perfect place to hide during the zombie apocalypse. The Alps are home to some of the most futuristic skiing lodges, and this certainly seems to be one of them. This one is located next to Europe's tallest peak at Mount Blanc, and also seems like you would need a helicopter to get up there. Good luck trying to ski your way down from here. It's an astounding 12,516 feet above sea level, and you'd certainly feel like you're on top of the world. Any form of hiking or camping on Mount Blanc is strictly forbidden, so this refuge is about as close as you can get. Bon voyage! Negurskoye Air Base. You might be a little bit surprised that Russia has a massive military base north of the Arctic Circle, located in Franz Josef Land. This is Russia's northernmost military base and has actually been around since the 1950s. Constructing a remote post this far was certainly no easy task, but it was meant to rival the Americans, whose presence was beginning to grow in the Arctic Circle. It's also home to the northernmost air crash ever recorded, when an AN-72 crashed here just 2 days before Christmas in 1996 while attempting to land. Many still believe the airbase is still in operation to this day and has the capacity to hold 150 soldiers as well as a fleet of Russian fighter jets. Satellite images would also make American intelligence believe that other vehicles are being stored here, as well as possibly tanks or armored vehicles. The fortified island helps Russia maintain their territorial claims in the Arctic. And number 1, Thule Air Force Base. Normally when you sign up for the Air Force, you don't really expect to get stationed all the way up in Greenland. This is the northernmost Air Force base that belongs to the United States and is found about 750 miles north of the Arctic Circle. How and why did the US manage to construct a military base in one of the toughest places to live on Earth? During WW2, Denmark was occupied by Germany, and the US had an obligation to protect Denmark and her colonies. With Greenland being one of those colonies, the US decided to sneak up there and install a radar base before the Germans did. This base was later on used as a main port in order to bring personnel into Camp Sentry, the US's secret nuclear bunker. The US hasn't abandoned this strange military base, and they even constructed this early warning radar system that almost looks like a pyramid.
Whoa, now that was a cool video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.